Es your boy Doknow. No puedes saltar el podcast más verga del mundo.
Sí, güey.
What's up, you guys? It's Doknow, bro. You feel me? I'm here with my guy Conker. This is my first interview. And if you guys don't understand what I said at the beginning of the... Damn. Fuck it, we just started this shit. Conker, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing good. What's up, Doknow?
Man, chilling, living, fool. You know, we out here.
Hell yeah, man. Congratulations, dog,
Appreciate
on all the
you.
success, dog.
Yeah, fuck
I'm just seeing you work, man, and you know what I'm saying? Look at you, man. Got your own podcast. You're moving up, man.
Hell yeah.
Moving up, dog. I'm proud of you, doggy. Hell yeah.
I'm proud of you, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just been working, you know, staying busy, getting my hands into a lot of different cookie jars, you know?
Shit, I know, bro. You've been hella doing everything.
Yeah, it's been dope, man.
But shit, tell them where you from, where you grew up, the city, everything, etc.
Shit, I was born in Van Nuys, grew up in San Fernando, moved around, but for the most part, just kind of grew up in San Fernando, you know? Went to Kennedy, Poly, you know, just a Valley boy, dog.
Valley
you know
boy, so A1A shit.
Straight up
A1A
A1A
shit,
shit, dog. You know, I mean, San Fernando, Pacoima, Silmar, Ardita, all that shit was my playground, you know?
What was your favorite place to live in the Valley? I know it could be, I know it could be like the Valley's so big that like,
Yeah.
it's like everything's hella far from each other. But what was one place that you feel like was like, damn, this was actually home? I know you're saying the whole Valley, but like.
Nah, San Fernando, the city.
The city, San Fernando.
The city of San Fernando. That's where I was raised at, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, so that's probably where I learned the game, dog. Where you know butterflies and the bees and the whole shit, you know.
And when did the career start? I know there's so much history to your shit. That's why I wanted to do this podcast, because I know there's like you started early as fuck in like the 2006. I could be wrong.
Probably 2000.
2000. Okay, I
was like 14.
I was
15.
barely born.
Yeah, 2000. 2000. I was already smoking weed, trying to holler at bitches, and you were barely done.
They was carrying me in the room. And so tell them about the early life. Like, how was it growing up? Like, parents, what was the situation? Your life?
Man, I'm first generation Mexican American. My parents, my mom came here when she was 17 with my dad. They had just gotten married. My sister was in my mom's belly when they crossed the border.
Okay.
They tried to cross the border twice, type of deal. You know, luckily it happened on the second time. They ended up over here, like by the beaches in San Diego.
Wow.
And they were helped out by a family that was flying the plane. And my dad thought it was a plane up until it got closer. He thought he saw that it was a toy plane. And he started talking to the dude. They got a phone and they called my tia, and it was a rap kind of deal, you know. And
the first time they felt crossing the border, how was that? Like,
it was crazy. Where they got robbed. You know what I'm saying? They got robbed by fucking bad coyotes type of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so it was like it was planned, and then when it was
dog.
time to cross, they were like, "Fuck that! There's our money. Fuck you guys."
Yeah. Basically, they got robbed and shit. You know, and
wow.
So they had to do it the second time, and then the second time is when they met it was like an elderly couple, and they were kind of like guiding them through the whole situation. And then again, my mom's what 8-9 months pregnant with my sister.
So she's about to give birth.
She's about to give birth. Dog. She gave birth like within 2 weeks of being here.
Wow.
Yeah. So my sister's from I want to say East LA. She was General Hospital, and I'm Van Nuys. You know what I'm saying? And then like my parents were here for 3 years after that, and I was born in '85.
How far did your family come from? Like, what part of Mexico is your family? Okay, so they're from the beaches.
Yeah, they're from the beaches.
They're from the beaches.
They're from Tepic, Nayarit. Yeah.
And then that's where Tepic comes from.
That's where the name Tepic comes from.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, so they went through the whole like crossing through the desert issue, or
I'm not really too sure. I mean, I know like me and my dad had talked about it, but I think it was more like Sierra and mountains.
Oh, Sierra and mountain. Okay, yeah. So still difficult.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, that's difficult for anybody that's in fucking shape.
Yeah.
Let alone a 17-year-old girl that's pregnant, fucking 8 months pregnant. You know.
Yeah, shit. My mom crossed through with my sister in her arms.
Yeah.
Mom, I think they crossed it the first time, but they went through the desert. Like, I think,
huevo, güey.
Yeah, they had no toys, güey. Like, you want a better life?
Let's go.
Well, God's gonna test you real quick.
There it is.
So, your family resides in East LA for a little bit while your sister's born, and then you.
Nah, they came straight to the valley. They came straight to San Fernando. My family, my tia Olga was here already.
Shout out to Tia Olga.
Yeah,
so your Tia Olga was already resided in San Fernando Valley.
Yeah. No, so so my tia took my parents in with my my sister in my mom's belly, and then kind of like, just started working, and the rest is kind of history after that,
That's fire. So it was really a matter of time if your whole sister's life could have been different if it was.
Oh, hell yeah.
If she was giving birth 2 weeks before, because then she would have had.
They might have stayed in Mexico, you know what I'm saying?
There would have been no concrete.
Yeah, probably. No, more than likely it probably wouldn't have happened that way, But thank God they made it on the second try, and then here we are.
That's always a blessing, don't you think? Like when you hear stories about because I'd be like thinking I'm going through shit, and then my mom be like, "Well, I lived in a casa de carbón." Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, don't make me feel like shit.
And then you put it in perspective. Fuck. Why you gotta go say all that, dog?
And then I remember when I was doing just stupid shit, she'll be like, well, when I cross the border, I'll be like, okay,
there it goes.
I fucking get it.
I get it.
Were you a bad kid growing up?
Yeah. I wasn't what do you define bad? You know what I'm saying? I think every teenager goes through his shit, right? Was I gangbanging? No, I love the idea of it. You thought you were a grapher? Nah, man. I wanted a straight gangbang. I wanted to just go straight into it, but luckily, man, I ended up playing basketball in my junior high, which kind of took me away from that shit. And then man, so I just started playing basketball throughout my junior high school. Then I started DJing when I was 15, and then 10th grade it was like a wrap. It was that was it. That was it.
10th grade, that was it.
Yeah,
you didn't finish high school?
Nah. Not at the time.
Not at the time. And when you were DJing, that was what? You were born in 85, so that was for late 90s?
Maybe 2000.
2000?
This is 2000. I was already DJing. I had my own club in Simi Valley called Tequila Room.
Your own club?
Yeah, I was 15 and I had my own club. I was 15.
Okay, first of all,
I was promoting it. Okay. I didn't own my own club.
I was like, the California laws changed.
No. As a DJ, club owners, they give you a club to promote for the week or whatever the case. And
so you had your own club.
Yeah, so I was running and promoting my own club at 15.
We're not gonna say the club owner's name. He might go to jail.
Yeah, he might go to jail. But that shit was fun.
Oh, so you didn't do the party crew shit?
I did. And that was earlier. I was maybe 11, 12. But you gotta think about it though. I was a overly mature 11, 12-year-old.
Yeah, fact. Okay.
I was a lot old, I looked a lot older. I was around all the homies that were 16, 17. So by the time I was 11, dog, I was already DJing for them at house parties, and then I was partying, doing all the rebel shit.
What was your set looking like?
Dog,
What'd you have?
5 crates. I had 5 crates. Obviously I had legendary hip hop shit, right? That was out at the time, But I also had when I used to do the rebel parties, I had all my DJ Irene, all my, what I'm saying, all that crazy stuff, dog.
And you were at a bandos at 11-year-old, just going stupid and while bitches shaking ass.
My first gig was a bautizo when I was 11 years old.
A bautizo?
Yeah, I roll up with my little.
How much are you charging at the time?
I was getting paid $45 to DJ for 6 hours.
But at 11 years old, that is amazing.
I was, dog, you kidding me? I was at fucking Kmart with that, dog. I used to go to Factory to You, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that is.
Before, yeah, right.
Get the fuck. I was born in 2000. When you were DJing?
No, you know what fucking Fallas Paredes is. Well, same company, perro. Family.
Okay, yeah.
So before it used to be called Family Bargain.
Okay.
And then it got turned into a Fallas Paredes.
Okay, so I know what Fallas Paredes is.
Yeah, same company, dog. Same company. It's like Ross and fucking, what's the other one? Burlington or whatever the fuck.
What is it?
Marshalls.
Yeah, Marshalls, okay.
Yeah, so it's same family.
Okay.
Bro. Same family and shit.
So your first gig is a bautizo.
Yeah.
And you're what, 11, 12?
About 11 years old.
Okay, and then
12 years old.
And then when was your first house party? Was there
immediately within 12, 13, that's around that time that I was like, okay, cool, I want to start really doing this shit,
And what's the situation with your family? Is your mom not and your dad not tripping about you just randomly leaving that fucking in the night?
Yeah, but that at the same time, you gotta think about it. By the time I was 9, I was selling, I used to go to 99-cent store, and with if I had $4, right, I would go and get 2 6-packs, and then I'd go to the market and get me churros, and my mom would make them for me. So then I'd be at the park slanging that shit at soccer games. So I was making $50 in one day off of $4. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So they knew that the hustle was there for me. They knew I always wanted to do it. So DJing for me was fuck it. If he's gonna DJ and be at a party, I'd rather him do that than run around in the fucking streets.
Oh, okay. So they would encourage it. Would you allow your kids to go to a house party and
There'd
DJ
be no
13?
fucking way. There'd be no way, dog. Especially not fucking DJ it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
he's 11. What the fuck does he know? But I had all the hits, bro.
You had
know what
all
I'm
the
saying?
hits.
Yeah.
And you were put up on game very young.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Was there ever a crazy situation during the party scene that maybe the cops got raided and you're like, what the fuck is this 11-year-old? Because 15, even 14, even 13 sounds normal.
Yeah.
But 11 years old at a fucking abando sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. You know what? I mean, that's the whole thing. Is that we're talking like late 90s, early 2000s. So it was like it was a little different, dog. You know, and plus like, hey, I'm just DJing. It was 10 o'clock, so it wasn't like it was too crazy. You know. So but never did it happen where I had cops talk to me. Like I had crazier shit happen than cops talk to me, like fucking gunshots going off, and that shit was a norm. Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Ain't no
Oh yeah, and then everybody's cool. All right, cool. There goes the music back on, you know, and then that was it, bro. You know.
Did people ever like question you while you're walking in? Who the fuck is this little brother?
Every
Is
time.
this? And then they just see you go on the turntable and start fucking it up.
Every time.
So you were very up on game at a young age.
Hell yeah.
So that was from the age of what, like 13 or 15 is
13,
when you're going.
15.
You're doing the DJ shit.
I'm doing the DJ shit.
Playing basketball.
I'm playing basketball. I'm kind of leaving basketball already. Like I was really into basketball. I did traveling basketball. Like they took like really good care of me. One of my claims to fame is that I beat Jordan Farmar at a championship game in the basketball league. So
who's that?
Jordan Farmer, he used to play for the Lakers. So that's like my claim to fame in basketball. You know, that's my Al Bundy moment, dog.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's my greatest story. But yeah, so at 15, I'm playing basketball, doing all that shit. And I started leaving it, and then that's when I had my own club, and then I wanted to start producing. I was like, man, I want to start making beats. And I was already kind of rapping with the homies a little bit, you know? So my dad and my uncle ended up building me a studio inside the garage.
Wow.
And you got to remember, dog, this is like when it's either I'm at home doing this or I'm out, you know, getting arrested or taking, you know, my sister's G-Ride and fucking doing donuts in front of the school. Like, I was doing that kind of shit, right?
Okay, so it's either your parents were like, fuck, he doesn't want to go to school.
Yeah.
It's either we don't support him and he goes fuck around. And obviously at the time, gangbanging was at its crazy peak.
It was on a small decline in those 2000s. It wasn't like as prevalent as it is maybe in the 90s or as it is now. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't as crazy. I mean, it was still active, dog. I mean, you know, nonetheless, I mean, it's always some sort of activity.
Yeah.
And if you're putting yourself in positions, then you're gonna see the activity.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
if you're at home, you ain't gonna see none of the shit.
Exactly. So you're doing that shit, and then they build you the studio.
And then they built me the studio, dog. And it was like that was the.
She wrote.
Yeah, that was like, okay, cool. Because my parents saw that I wanted to be creative ever since I was like 5, 6 years old. You know, like they knew that creativity was there. So when I got my studio, I remember my dad. I told him like, hey, use your credit. I'm gonna pay for an MPC, like a beat maker, an MPC 2000 XL, which
Like
was
the ones that you.
Yeah, the pads, you know. And these are like machines that only studios have at this time, or like really prominent producers that know what the fuck they're doing, right? I was lucky enough to have one of my boys teach me how to use it. His name's Chuck Heat at the time. I used to leave my school to go to his house and learn that shit. Like, you know, I used to take the bus. And anyways, I got mine. I had my studio. And I started making beats, so like for just homies on the block and dudes that I knew wanted to rap, or, you know, the word got around that I was making beats. I completely stopped DJing at that point. I was like, I'm done. This is what the fuck I want to do. So I'm doing beats and I'm doing all that shit. And it just kind of morphed into like, you know what, dog? I was like, man, all of these dudes are whack. They can't rap.
So you're wasting good beats on whack rappers.
What I thought were good beats, right? What I thought were good.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna rap on my own shit. And then so that's when I started writing my own stuff. And then within, I want to say 3 or 4 years, like I got signed. And then I had my first song on the radio. Felipe was the first person to ever play my record.
Okay, so the first record ever played on the radio was off a garage.
It was, yeah, I did that in the garage.
Okay, and what was that song called?
That was called Certified Kush.
And then you didn't go as Concrete at the moment.
Nah, I used to go as Beretta.
Beretta. Wow,
Yeah.
where fucking random.
I mean, it's as random as like, you know, anything else. But when you spit 16 bars, a gun spits 16 bullets. So I rap like a whole.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
so that was a correlation to it. Nothing super creative. I'm like 19. I'm trying to figure it out.
No, but I'm just
know?
like Beretta. Like I know what you mean. There's the gun.
No, but
thing,
let me tell you, my names have always like
been like hella fucking
kind of
random.
weird. Yeah, because like Beretta, like whenever people like at the time would Google me, they're like, bunch of guns come up. And I was like, fuck.
See what I knew it was a gun.
damn.
I was just like,
I was like, how are you spelling it? You know. So yeah, that was my first time ever having my song on the radio, dude. It was like, I think I was 19, 20, and it was a record called Certified Kush. At the time, I was signed to Sean and Lewis and Steve LaBelle, which at the same time, you know, I was there, like, me and Nipsey got signed the same week.
Okay, so I seen an interview where you went to go meet Steve LaBelle, and then he was like, hey, I want to sign you, but let me play you this kid.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Go through
the story.
Yeah, Sean and Lewis, shout out to Sean and Lewis, man. Those are my boys right there, bro. They, you know, shout out to my boy Big Boy, which put me on to them. They had heard a record of mine, and they were like, yo, we want to see if we can manage you. We want you to come and meet Steve. And I was like, at the time, I was like, you know, I didn't really know the ins and outs of the business, the who's who of it, you know. And he was like, yeah, man, you know, Steve LaBelle, he's managed Mariah, Bone Thugs, and all kinds. I was like, yeah.
So you're gassed up.
I'm gassed up, dog. I'm fucking
you're
dog.
You're the man.
Oh, fool. I go back to the hood with the homies, and I'm like, you fools don't even fucking know, dog. You guys don't even know what's about to happen. And then, so I remember, you know, they gave me an address to like somewhere in Thousand Oaks at the time, and
you busted there.
Oh, dog, I fucking...
You took the bus there?
No, hell no. I had a car at the time.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm saying... Okay, let's backtrack real quick. How did your song From a Garage get in the hands of Felipe and then on the radio? How did that happen?
Well, the record... the first record that I did was... that it was called Industry Beefs. And it was like a record that just got hood famous. And I was talking about beefs between... You know, Game and 50 and, you know, Dre and Easy. At the time, and it was called Industry Beefs, right? So that record got really... It got like hood recognition all over the valley.
Like off the trunk shit.
Yeah, it was off the trunk, right? So everybody knew about the record. And then so my boy Biggie gave my new record. No, my boy Biggie gave that record to Steve and Sean and Lewis.
Oh wow! So shout out your boy. He really
yeah. My boy Big Boy. That's my dude right there. That's my boy. He rocking me forever, dog. And then so he gave the record to them, and they were like, "Yo, we need to get this kid in here." So then that's when I go meet Steve LaBelle. Okay. And I'm walking into the house, and I'm seeing all these plaques, and I'm like, oh, shit, this fool... Okay.
And you're 19, 18 at the moment?
I'm like, maybe 19, 20, something like that, dog. You know what I mean? I'm still a kid and shit, you know? So I'm looking at all these fucking plaques. I'm like, all right, cool, this is cool. You know, he takes me to the garage, and he's playing my record. He's like, yo, I love that shit. I was like, cool, man. He's all like, I'm thinking about signing a couple dudes right now, and, you know... Like I like your music, and you know probably want to sit here and develop you a little bit more before we do like a release. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. You know, he's like, but I want to play you this dude that I just found too. He's like, let me know what you think. And he's playing this record, and it's a cover, and it has this dude on there, and it's like I think maybe it was like 3 or 4 dudes. And then he was like, the record's called Bullets Ain't Got No Names. And I was like, all right, cool. He plays it. His name's Nipsey Hussle. And I was like, all right, cool, play that shit. And the record was out of here, bro.
Yeah.
And then that record became one of his biggest like street records as well. Like one of the first records that really like people recognized him for and knew him for. It was called Bullets Ain't Got No Names. And the first time I ever heard that record was in Steve's car. And he was like, I'm about to sign this dude. So me and Nip got signed like almost simultaneously.
So you guys were like industry brothers, like label brothers.
Yeah. I mean, you could say that. Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I mean, you know, we used to go to his shows and, you know what I'm saying, like support. I mean, obviously, he had all his boys there, fucking 50 dudes. And, you know, it was like the whole hood was there type of shit, you know. So it was kind of cool to see that, you know, to see that happen. And
because a lot of people don't know these little stories. Like, example, like who knew that Steve like just real quick example. Like, if you would have been like, oh, it's an okay record, he might have not signed them. Like, I'm not saying you had that power, but I'm just saying, like, these crazy little stories mean so fucking much. Where it's like...
And it's the people like my boy Big Boy to take that record and to know when to give it to that dude and all these little things that have to happen for shit like that to really come about, you know?
So you get signed, and when do you start seeing the fucking, like, because you went from... being hood famous and having a hood hit record to now you're in these buildings with these industry people that have Mariah Carey, Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Yeah, so like it really kicked in when like I did a record with like Krayzie Bone, right? Like, because at the time they were like Steve and Sean and like they were managing the Bone Thugs, right? And I think they still do, if I'm not mistaken, but. So at the time, I was, you know, again, man, I'm around these dudes and shit. Like, we're kicking in the studio, and I'm just dying to get on a record. I'm dying for them to call my number. You know what I'm saying?
And what people don't understand is it's rare for a Latino Mexican kid
to be in these circles.
At that time,
too.
And then you're not from the average place. You're from the San Fernando Valley, which is right. If stop me if I'm wrong, but it's like usually they'll get a kid strictly from LA, South Central, Compton, these areas. But you were really a rare breed, like
for sure. I mean, I was the dude from the valley, you know. I was the dude from the valley, you know. So and that's just how it was. But I was dying to get like my number called, you know. And I remember I was just at the house. I had just got home from work. I think I was fucking doing some tow trucking or some shit at the time. And then my boy Sean calls me. He's like, yo, I'm right here in the studio with Krayzie Bone. He wants you to come and drop a verse on this record called Hollywood. And I'm like, dog, stop playing for you. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to take a nap. When I hung up on him. I hung up on his ass. And he calls me back. He's like, yo, I'm not playing, dog. I was like, I need you to come down to Burbank right now. We're at Encore Studios. You need to come down. And I said, bro, like, stop fucking with me, bro. I don't got time for this, bro. And I was kind of getting upset because he had fucking with me before, right? And I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. Third time, it's Krayzie Bone. Hey, I was like, hello? I was like, who's this? He's like, man, it's Cray. I was like, Krayzie Bone? He's like, yeah, BT&H. I was like, oh, shit. He's like, come down to Burbank right now, man. He's 16. I said, dog, I'm fucking there. Before I finished, that motherfucker got hung up.
So Sean cried to the wolf plenty of times, and you were like, fucker.
Yeah.
Like, you know that saying where it's like, you keep fucking with me.
And sometimes it's more like, you know, like
you're the newbie in the city.
And I'm kind of impatient at this time. Like I'm 20 years old. I'm impatient. I'm hot-headed. I think I'm making it. You know, like the cockiness is kicking in a little bit, and you start getting this kind of vibe and really unhealthy shit when you're trying to make it in the industry, right?
Facts.
And then so I go and do this record, man. I'm just in the studio. And this is the first time I had ever seen like what I would consider a professional in the booth, you know? And here I am, 20 years old, man, watching Krayzie Bone drop like a whole verse, and then he's like, how he's layering shit, and he's not writing, he doesn't have a pen, he'd be like, ooh, da, 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 da. Okay, cool, rewind it. And he'd be like, da, 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 da. And then he would punch in and be like, da, 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 da. And I was like, and he's building this whole shit in front of me like Legos.
Can you give me a good example of
like Legos, you know what I'm saying? He's just like, he'll say one little line, and then he'll make the dude rewind it, and then he'll hear it, and then he'll be like, all right, cool, press record, and then he'll say his next line. So there's no writing. It was just like on the spot.
Like punching in.
Just punching in the whole time. And I'm like, and then not only that, but once he finished the verse, now he has to go back and harmonize this shit. So then it's layers upon layers. And dog, you're talking about 40 tracks just for one verse.
I think you've made a skit about them in the studio, and you killed it. Where you worked, but I would have never. I thought obviously I've worked with you. I've been around you for a while, where I know your knowledge and love for hip hop. But I would have I remember we had this little conversation, obviously, but I never knew. Like I remember you made the skit, and then I seen you, and I was like, oh, that was perfect. He was like, because I was there when he made that, and I was like, that's so fucking crazy.
Yeah, dog, I was there. He recorded. Like he used to pick me and Sean up to go to studio sessions here in North Hollywood, Burbank area. And you know, one of them we went. You know, they picked me up, and I'm just in the back seat again. Dog, I'm just minding my own business. I'm just dying to get on, bro. I'm just chilling. You know what I'm saying?
So you're waiting for the number to be called.
I'm waiting for the number to be called, and they take me to the studio, and it's Chamillionaires in there.
Who?
Chamillionaire.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know Chamillionaire?
No.
Riding Dirty.
Okay, fuck off, Josh.
Want to ride? Yeah, right.
I was born in fucking 2000, right? And I'm first generation. Okay.
Yeah. So I go in the studio, right, and you know, Krayzie Bone's doing his thing. You know, he's drinking, I guess, his Henny, he's smoking his blunt or whatever, and I'm kind of tripping out because you know, Chamillionaire ain't doing none of those things. You know, he's not smoking, he's not drinking, and like he offered him, like, you know, Krayzie would offer him something. He's like, nah, I'm good, dog. And you know, at the time, I'm thinking like, square. You know, I was like, what about Ratty Dirty? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he was just really there, you know, and you know, I take care of business, and that was my first glimpse of like the industry. Like, you know, there's two broad aspects of this shit. You know, there's the person that drinks a little bit to get vibe and all that shit, and then there's a person that's like, nah, I'd rather do it focused. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I was able to see that, and I was able to appreciate both of them because they were just both as talented.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, like I was able to see both spectrums and be like, that's dope. That's dope to see those guys work. And I think that record was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's called Tax Collector or something like that, or like something like that. But it was like a second record that they did after Riding Dirty. And I was there for that one too, so it was dope to kind of see like Krayzie work and really put the pen to the paper type of shit, you know.
And at the moment, when do you stop working? When is it full-time music? I think you start...
I'm doing full-time music most of the time. Even when I'm working, dog, I was doing full-time music. I got fired from 1,000 jobs, bro, because if anybody would call me like, yo, man, come to the studio, I'd be like, I gotta go. I never let a job hold me back. That was one thing about me. And I burned a lot of bridges in the job industry because of that, right? But I was just like, I knew what I wanted, dog. I never, no disrespect like to people that hold a job, but I'm just, that ain't me. My mind was like, I wanted to be creative, you know?
And then, so that happened, and that's your early 20s, right?
That's my early 20s,
That's your early 20s. And when do you start touring and all that shit? Because I know I
started touring when I met my boy Full Clip. I was already doing shows. I had already done, Key Club, House of Blues, all the shows like here, like in the, like the Viper Room, all the big clubs here in LA at the time. I had already done them,
And you're like opening up for Bone Thugs.
I'm opening up for Bone Thugs, DJ Quick. I mean, name all the guys. So I was opening up for all of them right here in LA, and San Diego, and doing a couple tours here and there with some rock bands and shit. So then I meet my boy in 2006, I believe. He's actually a fan, and he came to my show.
Full Clip,
yeah.
Okay.
My boy Full Clip, and he had a big old weed shirt that lit up. And this is during the time that my song Certified Kush is on the radio, right? So he's a fan. I see him and I spot him like, yo, I gotta take a picture with you after this shit, right? This is when there's not camera phones like that. We're still taking pictures on like cameras, you know what I'm saying? Actual cameras, a digital camera, right?
Wow.
So, we take a picture and he's like, yo, man, like, dude, like, like at the time I was living in Palmdale. He's like, dude, I live in Lancaster. Well, if you ever need a studio, let me know. And I was like, cool, man. Yeah, man, we'll link up. Hey, man, here's my number, whatever, And man, dude, it went from me being me just meeting him one day to me not leaving his house, man. We got so much work done in the matter of like 2 years before he passed away in 2008.
Wow.
And that was like my brother, dog. Like, we developed such a relationship in like 2 or 3 years that wherever you saw him, you saw me for those 3 years.
He was the one that was your hype man.
He was the one that was my hype man. And he was my manager. And he was kind of like my co-managing with me and Sean and Lewis. And he was more like my day-to-day.
Day-to-day.
He was more like my day-to-day.
And at the moment, he's going on tour with you and everything.
He's going on tour, dog. He's getting me all the shows. He's doing a lot for me, dog. He's recording my album. He's getting the mix and master. He's doing a lot for me, like on that. And I mean, literally, dog, day to day. He was my 40 to a Drake. You know what I'm saying?
And at this time, that's when you're kicking it with Baby Bash and them?
I was already opening up for Baby Bash.
Okay.
Yeah, like Baby Bash knew who I was, but we weren't like boys yet. Like, we just knew who we were, like mutually. You know what I'm saying? This is around the time when like Omar Cruz was out, and like Rich Rocka from the Bay Area was popping off, and all these kind of like, we were all kind of like bubbling around the same time. Like, even the YGs, the Kendricks of the world. Like, I remember going to parties where, Kendrick would be in a cypher killing it for 35 minutes, dog.
Wow.
Like me and Kendrick were like, like we used to do the same shows. You know what I'm saying?
Like open and shit.
The same little shows, like the same little rinky-dink shows, Damn. So a lot of these dudes, like, I grew up with them, but we all kind of went in like different directions,
Different directions.
Everybody, like, unfortunately for Nipsey, like, he was doing well, and like, I remember I hit him up on Instagram, and he was cool with everything, and he was like, yeah, man, what's up, man? Hope you're doing good. I was like, all right, cool, man. Hope you're doing good too, type of shit, But everybody kind of went their own way, and obviously Kendrick became a fucking megastar, and Nipsey became a fucking a martyr kind of deal, like just huge, like type of vibe.
And so your brother passed away in 2008, and you're not feeling music no more.
Nah, I'm done with it. I'm completely done with it, because I'm seeing like, like when you're 20 years old, dog, and like a lot, like, 20, 22 years old, like, and everything's coming at you pretty quick, and you're starting to get a little bit of bread, you're starting to get recognition, people are starting to recognize you, and like the jealousy comes into play, dog. You start seeing how your homeboys, and you gotta think about it too, these dudes are 22, 21, like, they don't know how to act, they don't know how to, some don't know how to show support, you know what I'm saying? Instead of showing support, they start like pushing you away, like it's my fault that I'm doing something good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you start feeling that jealousy from people, dog, and I didn't want no part of it no more. I was like, man, I'm seeing the dirty side of this shit. I'm done.
Now, child, I know how it feels.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like you feel me, dog. You know.
Yeah.
So you gotta maintain your focus and not let any of that shit kind of get to you. But I kind of left music for that reason. I was done with the charade of trying to be this person that I wasn't, because I wasn't a gangster. I wasn't gangbanging, but I was doing records that were essentially either glorifying that shit or talking about experiences that I knew from my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, man, I'm
So you
kind
were
of
a
cool
great
with it.
storyteller.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you could say that I was a great storyteller, but at the same time, I went through my shit.
Yeah,
like,
no,
there were
no.
situations that I got into that were gangster, but I wasn't from a hood, so it's a lot different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a lot different from doing gangster shit and being in a gang.
Yeah.
You know? And I got into some gangster shit, but I wasn't from a gang. But, you know, so I was done with that shit 2000 and maybe like 8 or 9. Could have been 2010. And then that's when I was like, man, I want to start doing something. And, you know, music videos, and then I got into podcasting.
Wow, so you were podcasting
But
early on.
but at the time it was called internet radio. Like, people didn't know, like, the word podcast wasn't around like that yet. It might have been out, but nobody was really talking like podcast shit, you know? So it was more like internet radio, and I was doing it at LA Talk Live, and then I went to Pocos Pero Locos with E-Dub and Kool-Aid, and I was there for like 2 years with them.
And
you know?
when do you start filming music videos?
2011, 2010.
And how did that come about? I think I heard a story.
Yeah,
I was watching you were at a regular job.
I was at a regular job and I got fired. I was doing accounting for Fallas Paredes.
Full circle.
Fool, I conned my way sick into a job, dog. You know, like, cause I got that job from like one of those like temp agencies, right?
Yeah.
So like, you know, when they tell you like, well, what do you know how to do? And there's this carpentry, yup. Electrician, yup. Accounting, yup. Administration, yup. I didn't know how to do any of that shit, right? So I get the job and then I get fired within like, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months, dog. And I had my last little check. It was like $800. And I told my girl, I was like, you know what? I want to start shooting music videos or little documentaries for all these artists that I know. Because at the time, I already knew all these dudes that I was like, man, I know I can get these dudes to maybe give me a couple $100 to shoot a music video. So I bought a little HD camera at Curaçao with credit, you know? And the fucking rest is history, dog. Like, with that, I shot music videos for 10, 12 years and still doing it now to this day.
Yeah, I just seen that one.
You know, so it's been fun, dude. I mean, I've seen the world through a lens, dog. I can honestly say that was probably the best thing I could have done in my 20s, dog. Because I don't know if music would have done it like that, you know? I don't know if I would have been like a megastar or like nation, you know, even nation. I think I would have been like.
Well, who knows, right?
Who knows, bro? I mean, yeah, dog, who knows? Yeah, definitely who knows. Because, I mean, again, dude, you know, I was one of the first dudes here in the Valley around that time to have a song on the radio. So it was kind of like, I was one of the first of its kind even for that, you know? And that was cool for me. I was like, damn. And it was kind of like, all right, cool. Like, I did it. Now what? I set that goal when I was 15 and I did it when I was 20. It was kind of like, I did it in 5 years. Okay, cool. Now what?
And then,
And, you know, Doknow, remember, at the time, bro, having a song on the radio meant something.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Cause I know now it's like now having a radio that blows off on TikTok is something.
It's something.
So at the moment,
know?
you're really this. You're probably. I'm not saying you're the first Latino because obviously there's other Latinos.
Yeah, of course, dog.
But you're the first of a very unique descent that now the world is super used to, like first generation.
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
don't understand. Like people might not understand. I explain it all the time where I
Yeah.
go like, I didn't grow up on Snoop Dogg, dog.
Yeah.
Like my Chicano homies, like I feel like I'm more paisa than I am because like.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
And obviously, like I was like you, I was raised in LA, like with the areas where it's like we weren't my mom, like my homies' moms be like boogie.
Yeah.
My mom dances rock en español like my mom loves mosh pitting.
You told me that,
Yeah,
yeah.
she loves cumbias.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
the total opposite of what
Yeah.
people. Because I know what people see, which is the beautiful culture, the Chicano culture is an amazing culture. I know we both have it in our way of living somehow, but. People don't understand that your first language wasn't English.
Nah, man, it was Spanish.
It was
bro.
Spanish.
Yeah.
You were an ESL kid.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, me
up
too.
until like 6th grade, dog. Up until like 4 months ago, dog.
we're like, and then people go like, oh, well, then how do you know? I'm like, because of the cultures we were raised around. Like,
Yeah.
so example, like, so I know it was very rare to see somebody like you be on the radio, like, because your mom could have gone to your show and not understood a fucking word.
Oh, yeah. And my parents didn't get it.
Yeah, my mom still.
My parents, I think now they understand the accomplishment, but at the time they were like, está bien, te están tocando tu canción, qué bonito. And I was like, no, you don't get it. Like, you don't understand. I'm on the fucking LA radio, like second biggest market in the nation. We dictate music in this, like, it's LA radio. It's like, you don't, and at the time, Power 106 was the mega the mega radio station. It was like, if you weren't listening to Power, bro, what the fuck were you doing?
What the fuck were you doing?
You know what I'm saying? Like, that was like being on TikTok every morning, like, or Instagram. Like,
Every
you would
morning.
listen to Power 106 to see what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
That was our thing. You know, my parents, you know, they would watch Univision, Despierta America. For me, it was Power 106.
Okay, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that accomplishment was crazy. But
Yeah.
obviously, your boy passed away, and you felt kind of like there was no motivation towards it no more.
Nah.
And then you went back to doing regular shit
I went back to doing what was my first love, which was acting.
with acting. Okay.
Which was like filmmaking and being creative, right?
And then you get a camera from your first chick.
Yeah.
You like how you said, you seen the world through a lens.
Mm-hmm.
You started working from artists from, I know you've done shit with MC Magic.
Yeah.
You've done shit with the Marley Brothers.
Yeah.
And how was like doing that, going from being the next up to being behind the camera, how was that? Like mentally, a mental thing. Cause I know you went from
Well, in the beginning, it was like
Difficult.
Cool. I was cool because I was like, man, I just get to be like, I don't have to worry about. I'm just being creative, right? And then as I'm going, like 5 years into it, I'm like, okay, cool, this is cool. I'm starting to travel a lot, dog. You know, I've been to Europe, South America, like all this shit, right? But then I'm starting to see like that I'm becoming like I'm getting older now, and I'm not like as pop cultured as I thought I'd be. And I'm seeing all this shit. I'm seeing all these rappers, and I'm like, yo, and I'm starting to see some of these rappers bubble. And I'm competitive. It has nothing to do with them. I'm competitive. I'm just like, he made it? Oh, come on, dog. I got this. You know? And I would always just bite my tongue and not want to do music. No, I was just kind of like, fuck it. You know, I'm not going to do music. And it was kind of like jaded. I was jaded with it, you know? But seeing other guys make it, you know, I was like, oh, yeah, fool, I could totally. Because I consider myself to be a hit maker. Like, I consider myself to be a person that can make good fucking records. You know what I'm
good
saying?
record, yeah.
Good, like, radio records. You know what I'm saying? Despite me being first, like, Mexican American.
Yeah,
Just making great records.
fuck, you were good at music.
Yeah,
that's
hell
what
yeah.
I'm saying. And that's
Hell
what a lot
yeah.
of people aren't good at. People are good at rapping. People are good at making beats, but you were good at music.
But then there's making records.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Then there's making a record.
You're good at you're versatile. Like
Yeah.
your versatility is huge. And then, so you do that. You're filming. And when does the IG comedy come along?
The IG comedy con
Or acting, just in general.
Well, acting. I mean, I was acting all through the time when I was doing the music videos from 2010 till 18. You know. So then, I'm acting. I'm doing. I mean, I used to be like on Wilfred. I got some commercials. I did a couple movies here and there, some TV shows. And then I wasn't really taking it seriously. I was booking shit, but I was still kind of like, man, like this shit, like the money's so far in between, dog, that I could go do like 3 or 4 music videos right now and make a few grand, you know, like why am I gonna do this, you know? So, and in 2018, I'm shooting a music video for Sekan and Compton Menace.
Wow, I heard this story. The story's amazing, by the way. It's amazing, but it's fucked up.
It's fucked up, right? But it's amazing because it has a great
amazing.
turnout, right? So I'm fucking shooting this music video for Compton Menace and Sekan in LA.
And for people who don't know who Sekan is, he's one of the biggest artists, like in California. I mean, in the United States, in Latin
Europe.
America, he's
Europe.
He's that guy,
yeah.
like-
he's filling up 30,000 people stadiums.
and
like,
he's
easy.
and he real rapper shit, real cypher shit.
Yeah,
real,
yeah.
real
No,
raw.
Yeah,
music,
he's on. So I'm shooting this music video, and we're down to the last scene, dog. Down to the last scene, and we pull up to the Miracle Mile lights right there off of Fairfax.
on Wilshire.
On Wilshire and Fairfax, right? So we park the truck. I grab my camera, just one camera, one lens. I leave all my equipment in the truck. We leave to take the shot. We go right around the corner. 15 minutes tops, dog. By the time we get back, everything is gone. Everything is gone. Everything is gone. Everything is gone.
You're like in a van,
Yes.
Like a white van?
Yeah, like everything is gone.
and you forgot to lock it, or they broke in, or what was the situation?
They just got into it, dog. If I could tell you how they got in, bro, I don't know. I think they popped it. I don't know. Whatever the case.
$40,000 worth of equipment.
Yeah, but emotionally, it was like $1 million, dog.
Was there like obviously at the moment, Shekan and Compton Menace are doing better than you.
A lot better.
A lot better. So were they like, it's okay, dog, but you're like, no, it's not. This is my fucking job. This is my life. This all.
I think, and then I think Sekan lost like a gold chain because he had left it in his backpack. He lost his iPad and he had a bunch of records written in there. So like everybody lost a little bit, right? But I took the biggest hit because it was all my gear, bro. Like this is everything. I had a hard drive in there, in my backpack from 2 music videos that I had shot in Honduras. That we spent $20,000 on, that the people had paid $20,000 for, and those videos.
Can we name the people you lost their music videos?
Yeah, El Chevo. He knows. I mean, obviously.
How'd you approach him about like, hey?
Oh my God, dog. Oh my God. Don't even remind me.
Nah, tell me the story.
Dog, I'm calling him and I'm like, hey, man. No, because they knew like, oye, ¿qué pasó, man? And I was like, yeah, me robaron todas las cosas, manito. And he was like, ¿qué pasó? And I was like, pues me robaron todo, pero te quiero decir que, dog, your hard drives were in there. No me digas, no me digas. What do you mean? I was like, dude, I'm sorry, dog. Dude, but at the time, I'm going full blown depression, dog.
You want to end life,
dog. This is everything I've been working for the last 10 years, bro. Everything gone in 15 minutes. Wow. I'm in hard depression, dog. Look, dog, I posted a video on social media. This is, and keep in mind, I didn't have a lot of followers. I had a few, maybe 2,000-3,000 followers, but it was all industry friends, right? It was all industry people. And, I used to post pictures like me at the Mona Lisa, traveling, taking pictures, shooting music. I'm in London. I'm in fucking Sweden. All this shit, right? 10 likes. 10 likes, bro. I post this video, and I even posted it in black and white. Just to give it some dramatic effect. So, and in the video I'm like, hey man, they jacked my shit. If anybody has any clue.
And this is early Instagram.
No, this is 2018 when they stole my shit. Wow. So I do this video on Instagram and I'm like, if anybody knows anything, man, I promise you're not ratting. And dude, this is the most vulnerable I had ever been on social media. Like, at this point, dog, fuck it. It doesn't matter no more. I'm laying it all on social media. Black and white filter.
So you even got creative in your depression video?
Yeah, with my depression video. I was like, hopefully somebody sees this video and they're like, just give him his shit back, right? So nothing ever happens, bro. And again, dog, I'm like, where do I go? Nobody's calling me for music videos because I don't have equipment. The only people that really looked out for me was my boy, my cousin Burst Rock and the whole 27 Junkies people. You know what I'm saying? Kaz, Caveman, Burst Rock, the whole 27 Junkies family. They came together and threw like a little benefit party, and we ended up making like $1,500, which I ended up getting a laptop and stuff like that. But again, I didn't have nothing to shoot, so it was still hard, until I'm sitting at my boy's office, E-Dub's office in Van Nuys, because he used to let me borrow just to kind of go in there and edit and get shit done. And I'm sitting there and I'm going through just YouTube shit, dog, and I see this video and I'm like, it's this dude no, it was this lady like stealing something from a liquor store. And I'm watching this video and I'm like, man, that's funny. That liquor store looks just like the liquor store down the street right here. And I was like, you know what? I think it'd be funny if I put myself in that video. If I make it seem like I'm in that video. And I ran over there, shot the video with my phone. I looked at the angles. I looked at the lighting. Keep in mind, dog, like I'm a cinematographer, so I ended up matching the lighting and all that shit, right?
I wish I could do that, because when I see your skits, I'm like, fucking guy, if I knew how to edit, you piece of shit. So I'd be so mad at your shit sometimes.
So I post the video, dog, and the shit was like bananas. It just went, and then share, comment. And this is the most comments I had ever seen in my life. I think I got like 100 comments.
Fucking more than your depressing video?
More than my depressing video, dog.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the depressing video didn't get like 10 likes, fool. And then I was like, okay, cool, like something's there. And people were like, yo, this shit's hilarious. And they were starting sending me messages like, yo, that shit was funny, dog. I'll do another one. And I was like, and then I told my boy, I was like, nah, I don't feel like doing this comedy shit. I was doing comedy for other people. I was kind of like low-key writing comedy for other influencers and shit, And then my dude was like, you know what, dog, you gotta do your own shit, bro. Like if you keep giving like like what's the point? Like just do your own shit. Like you don't have nothing to lose anymore, dog. Just try to do something new. And I was, you know what, fuck it, dog. I'm gonna just start doing some of these comedy videos. I'm kind of down and out type of shit, you know. And then I remember I did another video, and then I did another video, and then I did one with my dad. And then
the Boppy one.
Yeah, the Boppy one. And then it was just like wildfire, dog, you know? I mean, to me, you know, I went from having less than 5,000 followers to having like 10,000 like within a month.
Wow. And then,
you know, and you got to keep in mind, like I don't have the young generation, right?
Yeah.
I had like older dudes that were really following me, so it took a little bit for it to start trickling out to the younger generation, you know?
I remember I seen the video of when the cops pull up and you're like acting hard and you think you're with Compton Menace.
That was another video that we shot for Compton Menace, like I want to say like a year into me doing comedy.
And then you used the setting as a skit. I
used the music video as the music video set as a skit. And then that one went viral.
George Lopez reposted it.
That was the one that George Lopez reposted and then kind of like gave me the notoriety. Like, okay, this was funny.
Yeah, this could do this shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was already on that let's do this shit, you know, because that was a year into me doing the comedy, you know. So I was already kind of like, okay, I'm full in, like I'm full on committed. I had asked my girl, I was like, do I embarrass you? She's like, nah. I was like, say no more. I'm doing comedy.
Do I embarrass you? I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I be doing shit. I'm like, I wonder what my family think.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially taking like the peak name, and I was like, all right, but yeah, I was like, hey, do I embarrass you? She was like, nah, your shit's funny. Like, you make me laugh. You always make me laugh. All right.
Does she think everything's funny?
Yeah,
she's a great wife.
I don't post it if she doesn't think it's funny.
That's how I be seeing shit.
Yeah.
If I send the homie some shit and the girls go like, that shit is funny, and the guys say no, I'm like, I'm posting it. Because the girls is with.
Nah, she's definitely like my moral compass when it comes to like a lot of shit.
So a lot of the shit I do.
Dog, I've done shit where I've done like pastor shit. Like I've done, you know, clowning like a church or something, and like I'll send it to her parents because they're pastors.
Yeah, I remember
pastors. So like, hey mom, hey, you know, like, what do you think of this skit? She's like, it's funny. God made you like that. I'm like, all right, good, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, I'm like, cool. If you know the pastor thinks it's cool, then fuck it. You know?
Were you with her while you were a rapper?
Yeah, that's how I met her. Her cousin was my backup dancer on tour, Burst Rock.
Her parents let her date a rapper. That name was Beretta.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out God.
I rolled up to the house. The first time I ever got to the house.
Faded.
Gone. She told me it was a barbecue. I didn't know it was a church barbecue. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know it was a church barbecue.
You rolled up faded or faded and smelled like bud?
Oh yeah, I just got off the car, dog. I got blown in the whole blunt from like off the 605 all the way there, in Lakewood.
And what was the situation like?
Nothing. Her mom. So I walk in. And so she walks in front of me and she goes upstairs. She's like, you smell like weed. Don't go up yet. I was like, all right. Her mom's coming down.
As she's going up.
She's greeting somebody out the house. So she's walking down with her friend and she smelled me and immediately, dog, laid hands on me. Started praying for me. Well, amor de Dios. All kinds of shit. I was like, oh, dog. 35 minutes right there, dog. I was there for 35 minutes. Oh, my stomach was growling, dog.
Because you got the munchies.
Oh, dog, I'm so hungry, G. And she was like, you're high, huh? And I was like,
no shit.
God, you don't even know. She's like, it's okay. All right, let's go get you some food. And she was really sweet, dog.
Super supportive.
Super supportive. Still to this day.
I ain't gonna lie. I have a homie that his mom was very Christian.
Yeah.
And we'll be drunk and she'll just be talking. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, it was just so difficult.
Yeah.
And it's different as the homie's mom.
Yeah.
But this was the girl you loved.
Oh yeah.
And this her mom, you're probably high off some crazy bone weed.
Oh, dog, I'm faded, dog. I'm gone, dog. But she was like, you know, her mom came like she's with the shits. You know what I'm saying?
Her mom just changed her.
Yeah. Her mom and her dad were really with the shits.
Changed
like,
her lifestyle.
Really with the shit. But they changed the lifestyle. And so her mom understood where I was coming from. And you know, like, weed, it's just weed, whatever.
Yeah, it's not like you were fucking late.
No, all fucking on one pinchy, all twacks. Oh, homie.
That's crazy.
all fucking short.
But I think that's beautiful. The fact that you could make skits about something that could be a very sensitive subject, and she's like, "This is you."
Yeah,
she's super supportive.
Yeah,
Well, the family in general, your girl in general.
Yeah, everybody in general. Yeah, everybody. I mean, because they know it doesn't like it ain't coming from a bad place, dog. Like if I'm making fun of something, it's just because I see the humor and shit. You know,
that's how I be seeing shit.
Dog, most of the time, I'm making fun of myself, so it doesn't. You know, like
I've gotten backlash about like so. Tell me what you think about this. I made a skit about couples that fight.
Okay.
Verbally and physically.
Okay.
It's always blown my mind how couples fight physically. Like, I've heard stories like just randomly like Tommy be like, "Oh yeah, me and my girl just got down." I'll be like, "Okay, let's stop there.
Back up.
Let's just tell me the story before, right?" And then I've heard stories. I have homegirls that have boyfriends that I don't know their boyfriends, but the homegirls are like my sisters. And they're like, "Yeah, I be shocking this fool out." And I'm like, "Okay, just let's back up again."
Let's back up again.
Okay, and I've made a skit about like couples that like fight each other. And people were like, "Well, it's not a fucking..." I'm like, "Okay, please just let me help. Let me try to tell you why I think it's the sense of humor in it."
Yeah.
Because although I don't agree with a lot of, like, I'm not...
You don't condone with ass whippings.
I don't condone with ass whipping at all. But I was like, especially male to female, I'm not all for that. Like, I'm not saying everybody's perfect. People make mistakes. Cool, whatever the situation is. But I made a skit about couples that fight. Mm-hmm. And people were like, "Well, you think that..." I'm like, "It's not that it's funny." I'm like, I just...
Oh, you think like domestic violence is funny? Is that what it was? Damn!
Fuck you. But I made a skit about domestic violence that changed my life, which is when... Because I got homegirls that be socking the shit out their mans.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll be like, "Fool, you need to stop socking this fool, dog. One day he's going to react and then it's going to go a bad way."
Then it's a problem.
Then it's, and like I said, I don't condone any of it.
Yeah. Either way, dog. Either way.
Yeah, either way. Because I don't think, girl, because I've been in the car when like the homie's arguing with his girl, he's driving and then she just, wham. I'm like, bro, we could have died right there.
Yeah.
If you would have just.
That's unhealthy, dog.
But I've made a skit about it. And when I made a skit, girl to guy violence, where it was like she was domestic violence once, it was funny. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, let me try it the other way around.
I mean, dog, there's, people are always going to have something to say, dog. Like, I've done skits and where people are like, that's where they fucking draw the line.
What was the skit that you think?
I've done skits about fucking blind people, but me doing a skit about fucking McDonald's because it's McDonald's, that's where you fucking draw the line? Like, give me a fucking break. It's ridiculous, dog. It's like, dog, I made fun of blind people. Okay. Right? Right, I've made fun of ponies and shit. People are like, "Oh my God, you're fucking using live animals in your skits. Like, it's so wrong. Like, that pony does not want to be there." And I was like, "How the fuck do you know that? How the fuck do you know that this pony does not want to fucking be? He loves me. He's fucking. I'm feeding him carrots. He's well taken care of. They fucking treat that pony better than they treat a human being, dog. that pony's fine, right? And then so I did a skit with where I'm playing one of the guys that's searching for the people on the sea in the Titanic, right? And I'm like, "Is anyone out there? Can anyone hear me?" Right? And then I'm in a box with no shirt on and shit, And people were like, "Oh my God, how can you be making fun of such a fucking thing? It's real people died." And I was like, "I get it, guys, but it's like, there was no fucking Rose and Jack in there, and you didn't make no fucking fuss about that. Like, what's the big deal? Like, dude, like, what the fuck does it matter? I'm just saying, like, just I see the humor in things, and people are always gonna have something to say, dog. People will always have something to say, no matter what, dog. When you know what's funny is that people will comment on a negative, like people will comment something negative, right? I'll get 600 comments, 700 comments on a skit, and then you'll have your haters and you'll have your negative people and all that shit. But then when I post that we just gave 1,000 fucking backpacks out to kids, it's like, where the fuck those people at?
Shout out.
Nobody's sitting there saying like, "Oh my God, why black backpacks? Why not red?" Like, what the fuck? Like, what I'm saying? They're not there for that, So it's like, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, just do you, bro. Like, like, nobody is gonna do nothing for you, bro. So might as well just do it for yourself and just do it with the right intentions. I don't do comedy to go at a specific person.
Yeah, me either.
I just do what's funny to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do it purposely. Like, and I try to stay away from the politics. I try to stay away from certain social issues. It's not that I'm not. It's not that, you know, like, because a lot of people hit me on the DM, right? Like, hey, Concrete, why haven't you touched on this, or why haven't you talked on Donald Trump or Biden? And I'm like, because it's none of my fucking. I don't know politics, fam. I didn't go. I don't know politics. So why? You know what I'm saying? Like, but what I do know is about a broke homie. You know what I do know? I do know about this shit.
Those
you know?
skits have. You think those are the skits that have touched the youth the most?
Probably.
Yeah, bro.
Well, because they're so like broad.
So me being a comedian, or me wanting to be a great comedian that I want to be, or excelling and getting better at my craft, right? I love the Oscar de la Hoya and what's the other dude?
Vargas.
Vargas. I love that shit.
Yeah.
I showed it to the homies, and they were like, I don't get it. I'm like, and the comedy in me is like, bro, what the fuck do you don't get that the homies is good? But I show them the other two skits, and they fucking
They're like
slappers,
yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But I think seeing somebody like you do comedy teaches like the younger, like you, I watch, like, and people don't know, but we support each other crazy. Like,
we
I
do.
comment on your shit, all
sure,
the luck.
sure.
There's a lot of shit that I learned from you,
Yeah.
and it comes with a lot of with the acting shit.
Yeah.
And I've had the pleasure of working with you in an actual film.
Yeah.
Chata Broma coming soon, you guys.
Oh, Chata no more.
Yeah. But I had a dope like. So how do you try to stay? I know you've always said like you go against the grain, like you don't make skits about trending shit.
Nah,
Which I don't either.
I try not to. No, I mean I try not to. I mean, like every now and then I'll do something that's like something that like for example, like I did a Super Bowl skit, but it wasn't necessarily about the Super Bowl as much as it was about a situation that happens, right?
Yeah.
So it was a broke homie that wasn't bringing nothing to the Super Bowl party.
Which we all have.
Which we all have, that one homie that shows up to the party with fucking empty-handed and eats the most and
drinks the most.
He'll bring Shasta Cola and drink the Cokes, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking that's that guy, right? So I did that shit. And so I try not to do things that are trendy because trendy is just what it sounds like. It's here right now and then it's gonna be gone tomorrow, you know? So I try to do stuff that is gonna last on my page for years to come. You know, I want people to go back and see my shit and it still be funny because it has nothing to do with the moment, you know? It's about what happens in life in general. You know what I'm saying? So it lasts longer. It's just like when I made music, I didn't want to make music that was just here for the moment. I wanted to make music that people were going to be able to hear for a long time.
For longevity.
You know, like longevity music. So that's my skits, you know? That's why I don't do trendy stuff. And not that it's bad. I don't mind, you know, like if you're a comedian, social media influencer or whatever, and you do trendy jokes or trendy skits, and I don't do the lip syncing. I don't take somebody else's joke and like just do it my way. Like, no, I feel like I take the craft seriously, bro. Like, I really do, and I'm really competitive, you know? And it has nothing to do with anyone else, you know? But, like, say, for example, you fucking post a funny-ass skit. Immediately, I'm like, fuck Doknow.
Me too. I be like that with you.
But you know what I'm saying? But it's friendly competition. It has nothing to do with, like I don't, like, dog, I love you, dog. Like, I would, like, we've worked together. We've done shit together, right? But yeah, like if I'll see a guy and I'm like, oh, he did something funny. Okay, cool. I got you.
I'm about to gas it out.
I'm about to gas it up. You know what I'm saying? So like it's all friendly competition. But yes, to your point, I don't like doing trendy stuff.
Yeah, and then the acting shit. I know you got the Ghetto Busters.
Yeah. So tell me.
That shit out now, right?
Yeah.
On Tubi.
That's on Tubi for free. It's a free download. It's my first TV show where I'm the star of it, and that's
Fire.
and that was hard because it was like, you know, I'm being catapulted into this new role of like the leading guy or whatever in a sense, you know, and you got all this money riding on you, and you got all this production money riding, and it's like the shit's kind of weighing on your shoulders a little bit. It's like, action, motherfucker, be funny. Let's go.
That was hard for me when we did our Chata Without Milk.
Yeah,
because I had to learn a lot, and I could sometimes freeze up and be a little serious, but we've also had the super funny moments where it's like when we're from the scene inside the house,
we're dying,
and they're getting mad at us because LV's sitting like, okay, you got your laughs off for the last 10 scenes, but we gotta figure this shit out, and you're saying stupid shit, and I'm there like, and I'm trying to get it together, like. What was the difference in being the main and to I mean obviously in Horchata Without, like what was the difference between Ghetto Busters and Horchata Without Milk?
Horchata No Milk was a character that
Rare.
It's rare, but I've seen before. I know that homie.
You do?
Yeah.
Because I remember when we were doing the sitting, you were like, okay, let me read through this whole shit first.
Yeah, like, well, what I'm saying is like, and not necessarily Theomaniacs, right? Not necessarily Theomaniacs I've seen before, but I've been around that cholo mentality.
Yeah.
And that penitentiary style of thinking of like, I just got out, but the food's been out for 10 years and that food's still on a fucking good one, dog. Like, I've been on that intensity, you know? But it was a different character because, again, you don't know what he is. You don't know if he's straight. You don't know if he's gay. You don't know if he's non-binary. Like, he's just a weird character.
He's just very different. Like,
he's just different, dog.
He's very motivational, but very fuck you.
Yeah.
And then he's like a fucking no tiene nada because he lives at his sister's house. But then he has it all.
But he has it all. So it's like a weird character. And it was like, again, dog, I got to play like almost 2 roles. Because remember, like I had to go back from one character to the other character. And that was difficult. Because it's like, it's like schizophrenia. Like I'm playing 2 characters, you know?
Yeah, you were, yeah. And
in Ghetto Busters, it was just more like, on Ghetto Busters, I was able to bring my Valley guy vibe.
Fuck up, dude.
It wasn't a character that was culturally Chicano driven in a sense where I'm like,
More
hey, what's
hippie.
up? Hey, fool, what's up, dog? Or nothing. Like, it wasn't like culturally driven like that. It was more like, yeah, I can play just like concrete, like the normal dude that went to like Port Elementary and shit, and just be like, what's up, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Fucking rock on.
you know, even though like I do interject like my culture in it, and I do give that character, you know, Christian concrete, the Mexican American dude, but they weren't like, that's what we're looking for. We want you to be a gangster. We want you to just
Be you.
Just be you. Create a character for Jalapeno. You know, create a character. They didn't want to necessarily be like, yo, they didn't want to stereotype the character.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool for me because I was like, all right, good. This is the first time where I was doing something where I wasn't Vato 1, Thug 1, Thug 2, you know, like it was different. So that was cool, you know?
Yeah. And then, fuck it, before we leave, tell me about Killer Oldies real quick.
So Killer Oldies, bro, is a project that I wrote and directed.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You sent me the thing.
Thank
it
you, brother.
was fucking.
Shout outs to
That shit kind of creeped me out at first. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I don't
man.
like shit like that, but
I'm into horror films. I mean, I love comedy, but horror is something that I really enjoy writing. I enjoy doing, and so I wrote Killer Oldies in 15 minutes. And shout out to my boy Echo. He helped me produce the joint. You know,
shout out to bro.
Shout out to Jeff Reyes. Shout outs to AV Chevy and Grand Enterprises. They executive produced the joint for me. So
AV Chevy, I need a truck.
Let's go.
Tap in with me, please.
Let's go.
Let's work some out.
Tap in with the boy.
Yeah.
So I ended up writing that, and we shot that shit last week, man. Shout outs to Ashley Alvarez, Colin Michael, Stevie Yegas, the whole team that was there, man. And dude, we came up with a really cool short horror that we want to make into a feature film, you know. And I wrote this because it was like, you know, like with horror films, I kind of always write my fears, bro.
Your fear is
everything. In,
so are you scared of being kidnapped and the guy loving oldies?
Yeah, dog. like I've always like. Oldies just have this certain tone to it of like
love fucker
creepy. No, but like creepy tone. The way it's recorded, it sounds old. It sounds, you know, and I've always correlated oldies to like, you know, and it really happened when Jeepers Creepers. Remember Jeepers Creepers? Like that song is an oldie. You know, so when I heard that song in that movie, I was like, ugh. Like, and I always correlated oldies to like an old sounding record, and so it's like it always creeped me out, you know. And what I wanted to do with Killer Oldies was that I wanted to mix the culture of soldies that's happening right now, with guys like Joey Quiñones, you know, Trish Toledo, the Mariah Avilas, you know, all these singers that are like Malik Malo, like all these guys that are creating soldies, that are creating new songs that sound like they were made in the 50s. It's like this new genre of music that's really popping off.
Okay, and I've been tuned in. That's like the dudes that made that song. Is it any wonder? Like shit like that.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
I love that
like
shit
Jason
like
Joshua, like all these dudes that are, you know, the Lakesiders, you know.
Their souls are old. They're young.
Yeah, the Escapers, all these guys that are doing this oldies style of music called soldies, and I was just like, you know what, like, I want to marry the two. I want to somewhat give this music a platform.
Wow.
And then I want to do a horror movie. So I ended up, it's like, this is what happens with oldies and horror mixed, baby. And it's called Killer Oldies.
I'm excited for that. Can I get a part in that?
Absolutely, man. You want to get slashed?
I'm down to be like the.
You don't want to get killed?
No, I'm not down to get killed. I'm down to be like the. No, actually, I'm down to get killed, but towards the end, I want to be like, how there's always like in a row, people get killed in a row. It's like first is like one guy and then a girl and then one other guy and then there's like a pattern to shit, right?
Yeah.
I want to be like the one that tries to be positive towards the whole shit, but then the minute it's my turn to die, it's like fuck.
I'm trying to be positive.
It's always like in horror movies, there's always somebody that's trying to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, Jason, stop doing that. And it's really the killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I'm you could be the one that just doesn't believe in none of it. Dog, you guys are fucking stupid, dog. You guys believe in that
it's
shit?
Your fucking grandpa. You didn't pray. But man, Conker, I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, bro.
This was amazing. Josh, how'd you like this? Fire, O'Reilly. Was it good? Shout out O'Reilly. I thought it was But man, Conker, tell them where they can find you on IG, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everything.
You can find me at Instagram is Concrete Live, just how it sounds, Concrete Live. Instagram, I think it's Concrete Comedy. TikTok is Concrete Comedy. Facebook is Concrete. Everything is Concrete.
Concrete. Everything is concrete. You feel me? Yeah. Me and Concrete got some shit coming up too. Like I said, we got the Orchard Without Milk. Mm-hmm. Expect some skits too. We both been hella busy.
Yes.
He's been hella busy. I've been hella busy. But expect some skits. The Orchard Without Milk is what I'm really excited about because he showed like our dynamic. Shout out Jerry Garcia. Shout out LV. Shout out everybody that was part of that film.
That was dope. Man.
That was a great team.
I can't wait for that, bro.
Yeah,
I can't wait for that. I heard the parts that they shot. Some other scenes that they shot, they're gonna add it. I heard it's really dope and it complements everything you guys are doing. So that's just dope. Dog.
Okay, fire. Yeah, like the look. Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
I was gonna spill it.
Don't spill the beans.
Okay, but man, shout out the whole team that was part of that Echoes World. Everybody, it was overall a family orientated film where we sat there and talked about our lives. We cheered for everybody.
That shit was dope.
So, Conker, I appreciate you coming on, my guy.
Appreciate it, man.
Make sure y'all go follow
the guy.
So
this is the first one?
This is the first one where I'm interviewing.
Damn, was the first.
Fuck Adam.
I popped the cherry, dog.
Man, you guys make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. No Jumpers / Patreon too. You can watch Patreons. No Jumpers / OnlyFans where they can watch exclusive content.
Let's get it.
Oh, May 2nd, 2022, we are having No Jumpers having our first live show, which is hosted by Adam, and obviously Adam's in the show. Fucking asshole. AD, T-Rail, me, Sharp, and special guest, Josh? The special guest? You feel me? Make sure you stay tuned at our rate theaters. You get tickets on nojumper.com, and the links also in you'll have it in the bio. And yeah, tap in. And make sure y'all follow Concrete on everything.
Go.